We have a new zesty talk show for you guys today. I'm one of your hosts, Shirin Yadegar.
I'm Chudney Ross.
I'm Samantha Ettus, but you can call me Sam.
And I'm Michelle Villemaire.
And Monday mornings, you're going to join us and we're going to just unpack the weekend. We're going to talk about what's going on in the news, how we're managing our lives with our kids, and what is going on. So let's just get into it, ladies. How are you surviving this Monday morning? Because let me just tell you something. I was super excited to come in. I had my workout planned. I was getting ready. I was going to put my makeup on. And then my daughter called and said, Mama, I threw up. Can you bring me some new clothes? And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna take a deep breath. I'm gonna chill out. I'm gonna get into it. But you know, I feel like every single day there's something else, and like we just get thrown for a loop. How do you guys deal with it? How do you deal with it when you have a plan and everything goes the other way?
I think it's always a juggle, and it can make you feel wild, but taking each step at a time. And it's so sad that, of course, we end up being the ones that are put last. Like, did you get your workout in?
Of course not.
No, you made it, but you put on makeup and you look amazing. But yeah, same thing. I woke up with a 4-year-old in my bed, not how I had planned my morning. She's snoring in my face. The only thing is she sleeps super well when she's in my bed. So I got to do my makeup and wash myself and get ready for the day, even walk the dog. But yes, I think Mondays particular, getting back into a routine is a lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
My life actually has gotten a little bit easier this week because my 16-year-old got a car.
Oh my goodness.
So she is driving. She is helping me drive the 13-year-old around, and that is a very.
major plus.
I know it's like my world has changed dramatically because she can drive her to dance class, and she can go to Pilates, and she can do all of her things. And I am actually, it's kind of like a mini empty nesting situation that I'm having because it's a little sad. Like she got her car and then, she caught a light and she was gone. It was like, there goes my baby. So
is it scary to send her off? I mean, 16's so young still. Is it scary to send her off on the freeways, or does she?
She is a really good driver. She was a competitive skier, so she's kind of got that, like she knows what she's doing. She can maneuver.
I've driven with her. I find it very scary.
She can be a little, she can be a little, what do you call it when you, the
Aggressive.
start, a little erratic sometimes, but she's got control.
That's good.
She needs to work on the style.
The bumps are.
Well, you trust her.
Yeah,
That's the
I
main
do.
thing, right?
I trust her. I mean, we don't have any other choice, too. I mean, we have to let them fly.
That's so right. It's
Yeah.
so
So,
hard.
yeah.
It is really hard. Now we have 2 drivers in my house, and it's
Oh, God.
It's always agonizing. But I will say this time of year, I don't know how you all feel, but for me, the beginning of June, I feel like it's the top of a roller coaster where it's about to go down and you have no idea what to expect. And every day it's like they keep sending out the school keeps sending out all these emails about like, this is the exam schedule and this is the pickup schedule. And every day is different for each kid. And then my daughter's graduating from high school on Friday, and my in-laws are coming for the week. Like, it just never, it's in a chaotic time.
And your in-laws stay with you?
They are staying with us, yes. Let's move topics.
We won't talk about that on national television. We'll let you have a free pass.
Yes, they always stay with us. And in fact, I thought they were coming Thursday, but we got a bonus day. They're coming Wednesday.
Oh, yay!
Yes.
Well, I'll tell you what, Mondays, I'm super excited because as much as I love my 4 daughters, I'm excited that everyone's out of the house and I have peace and quiet and I can just kind of like focus on myself and get my week going. And really, I was so amped to get into the studio with the 3 of you and like make some magic together. And it got me super excited. And these days, I don't know how excited I feel on a daily basis. Like, like what are things that really get you guys going, that give you excitement these days?
Well, I was just at my college reunion, and I, as you guys know, I went to Harvard, and so I'm very angry at Harvard right now in terms of how they've handled anti-Semitism. And so I go to every single reunion. I'm one of those annoying people that goes to every high school reunion and every business school reunion. And I'll tell you why you should go to your reunion, okay? It's like the Tracy flick in me. But anyway, so this is my 30th, which was a big one, and all my friends were going, but I felt so uncomfortable. So what I did was, one of our friends, this just happened like a week ago, he sent out a thing that he's hosting this Thursday night garden party before the reunion. So I convinced my roommates to just go to that with me. So we just went to that, and then I didn't have to go to the actual reunion and give money to Harvard. But it was so interesting because we're all in this kind of like middle age situation now where I think a lot of people are questioning, like, what's the meaning? What is this all for? Like, is this the end of my career, or is this the middle of my career? And we're all struggling with the same things. And I think sometimes it's easy to think your problems are so unique and they're all about you, but we all have the same exact issues.
So true. It's so true. It's just, what do we do with it, right?
Yeah.
How do we get to the other side? How do we turn our pain into purpose? How do we make that all happen? You know, and I know all of us here do so many great things. We're like living our best lives. I really think we are. You know?
Well, yeah, you said turning pain into purpose, and that's kind of what I've been working on this month. I took a trip with Sam to Israel, a mission trip to Israel, and just trying to figure out, you know, I absorbed so much information when I was over there, and the culture and the people, and, you know, just visiting all these sites. And so I decided to channel that energy, and this is what's getting me up in the morning, into a creative project. Rather than being on the internet and like just, you know, seeing all of the horrors, putting it into this project. So I wake up every day and I work on it, and I have a deadline of June 28th. So that is giving me my sense of purpose, and, you know, making it creative and getting me out of bed and not crying about my kids growing up.
Oh, I love that. It's so important to have something, right? That you own and that you're working on.
I think it's being I can't even claim middle-aged woman because it feels so not right. And I think I felt like
you're not like us, Chudney. You are not.
I might be older than you.
Chudney, I grew up with you. I know how old you are.
No, I'm older than people think. I don't know, maybe because I work with kids. I don't know. I work with kids, but I think that when I think of my mom at my age, I felt like she really had it together. And then when she didn't have it together, I was so shocked that like this woman who I felt like had it all was struggling. And so as a woman in my late 40s, I feel like every day is really exciting because I don't know that I've figured it out yet. And I feel like I'm just I'm like, oh, I have this great idea. I think I started a bit of a midlife crisis, but then I had to really think about what I want to leave with the world and what my purpose is, or what message I want to leave when people think of me, and not just my kids, because I know how they'll think of me. They love me a lot. but you know, how the world will then think of Chudney and what I'll be remembered for. And so that felt scary. But then when I sort of figured out who I want to be in my 40s, I think it makes waking up every day a little bit more joyful. Like you find the joy because you're doing stuff that feels like you and feels important. And I know the work you do and your daughters do, that you're able to see how people will remember you. And I think that that's really important. And also a little sad that I'm thinking of that, like the end of my life is, but I feel like I still have so much work to do. And now I feel like I have more focus versus just sort of grabbing at everything. Right. I have an exciting focus that I can.
Well, I think it's just like living with intention, right? Like waking up every day and knowing that there's something more than yourself. Like you're serving a greater purpose than yourself, which is the truth. Like, why else are we really here? Like, why are we navigating our lives? It's not just about us, and it's not just about our kids.
I think a lot of moms misguide that into thinking, my intention is my kids, and I'm going to put everything into them at the expense of having anything that fulfills me personally. And people forget that you're a better mom when you have something that fulfills you personally, because you're not 100% all in on them. You have something in your role modeling that you have a full life and that they're super important, and you are too. And I think that's important.
I do think that's so hard though. And you know, my little one needs her tonsils and adenoids out, and so she's sick a lot. And I find that I'm canceling all of my stuff, which is so hard, but also so important. I remind myself that like these are seasons of life.
Yes.
And so she's sleeping in my bed and like snoring in my face. But every time I'm like, I can't sleep. This is so annoying. I'm going to go to her bed. And then I'm like, this is very fleeting because my order's so big. And yes, it's hard and it's not what I would have chosen. I would love to have my workout in the morning and have taken a nice long shower and all those things. But also right now is this season of her. Right. And that's hard because, you know, I agree we need to put ourselves first, and it makes us the best parents, but sometimes that doesn't work.
Well, and I don't even think it's putting yourself first. I think it's putting yourself on the map.
Yeah, right? Yes, agreed.
Right. I think so many people don't even put themselves on the map, and then they wake up and they think, oh my gosh, where was I?
Yeah. Right.
Or you see that, you know, I think sometimes you see a lot of moms getting angry or frustrated or losing patience because they don't give any oxygen to themselves. And I think to be a better parent, you have to do something for yourself that gives you that fuel, that refuels you. To
Absolutely.
100%.
For sure. And you may not do that in the beginning. Like I remember when I first had my kids, I was like, there is no one who's going to touch my kid or raise my kid. I'm doing it all myself. I didn't have anything for myself for the first many years. And then when my third child was born, I was like, okay, slow down here. I can't dedicate everything to my kids. I need something for myself. But that took me a decade. That was a decade of just being a mom and being entrenched with them. And there were moments of resentment for sure. But I think like looking back now, I'm like, wow, I have these incredible human beings. And it was because I took the time to really be entrenched and be there.
I think that's dangerous only because I think it's a message that our society gives to women so often that you have to be 100% all in. You can't have a career for those first 10 years to build these amazing humans. And at the end of the day, it's so much about your decisions, and a lot of it is financial. I mean, financial independence for women is such a critical factor here, and so many women don't end up in situations where they're financially secure and they take that time off and never get their financial security back. So it's very risky. I think it's one of the things I try to get moms to think about in my work is to think about the fact that when you are earning money, you're still earning it for your family. You're still a mom. You're just helping your kids in a different way and supporting them in a different way.
Well, it's a mindset. And I definitely didn't have that mindset. So now I do. It's like I'm almost living two lives as two moms and two different, you know, I didn't have it. I didn't have a Samantha Ettus sitting there telling me, hey, honestly, it just wasn't even in my,
Well, I mean, I grew up with a mom who was a super feminist, and I remember her being in the elevator when we were like 8 years old. I was 8 years old, and she said, you know, Mrs. Riles? And I said, of course, I've always known her. And she said, she hates her husband, but she has no money of her own, so she can never leave him, never be like Mrs. Riles. And that stuck with me, that message.
My mom was a Mrs. Riles. Yeah.
Aww. And I grew up
Kill the mood.
with
well, that's hard, but
I think we all relate.
and then either you learn to go that way or you learn to not go that way. And it's sort of how you embrace your life. I grew up with a single mom who brought us everywhere, and I see now how hard that is. So I did work through my little one, but she was with me at work every day. My husband got to go off to work or go play golf or do whatever, and they've always just been attached to me. And that's hard. That's a lot of a juggle too. But fortunately, being my own boss, I can, people will be like, who's that baby sitting on the floor unattended? I was like, oh, that's my baby. She's great. Look at her. She's got some snacks and you know, but I do feel very fortunate that I've had that opportunity to be able to bring them with
to design a career where you were an entrepreneur and could do that.
And I totally get that doesn't work for everyone. I went to a meeting in New York when Callaway was very little with her strapped to me. It was a pretty big opportunity meeting, and they all looked at me like, what is strapped to you? Like, why? I was like, oh, this isn't in LA. We're much more chill. You know, you can do, and I get that doesn't work for everyone, but I feel very fortunate that I was able to create a career that worked for me the same way I saw my mom work through her whole career, and have us in tow. She had more help than I did, but I've always had help. And luckily, I married a man who's a homebody. Who's, when he's not at work, he's sitting on the couch. And though I wish the kids were out and doing more things, I know that they are safe, they are loved, and they are home, and I can go to the gym, or I can, catch up on my work that I wasn't able to do with screaming babies, or I can go out for drinks with my friends. All of that is very important to who I am, and he's not that. So
and you can do guilt-free because you know that you have a good partner who's home.
Yes.
And maybe you would feel the guilt if he wasn't home, right?
Yeah.
Maybe you wouldn't want them with a nanny.
Yeah. And we have great sitters and things. I lean on a community that, whenever I need it.
I mean, it takes a tribe, though, don't you? I mean, it's not just a saying. It really takes a tribe. I don't know how, as women, we would navigate our lives if we didn't have good friends, and we didn't have family, and we didn't have great nannies and help. Like, how else would you do it? I don't know how I would do it.
Well, I think I think a lot of it is a partner who is engaged in a 50% way, ideally, with the childcare and the home care, because otherwise it's really impossible to reach your potential if you don't have that.
You'll never reach your goals.
Yeah,
it's absurd.
I'm jealous of people who have their parents living closer and can have that multi-generational experience. My parents have, always moved around, and right now they're in Arizona. And I don't know, it's just a very American way to live, is to just be kind of your own branch of the family, just on your own. And it's just hard.
Maybe it'll change and our kids will all want us living with them in the multi-generational home.
I've tried that already. I'm like, when you go to college, I'll just come.
Exactly.
Like, who's going to brush your hair? She's got really naughty hair. Who's going to brush your hair? She's like, you can come brush my hair, but then you got to go. Like, yes, I'm going to fly wherever you go.
We want them to take us in, but right now when they're going off to school just for a couple hours, we're like, thank God you're out of the house, and give us a little space to breathe.
Yeah.
But like, honestly, for all of you here and everyone who's watching too, like, I just am always curious to know how people navigate the day, because like we just said, Monday is so hard. Like, it is. You're juggling and you're trying to, and thank God none of us have like baby bottles anymore, but remember those days where you have like little ones, and I look at the moms and I'm like, and you want to get a workout in, and you want to maybe meditate for 5 minutes, and you want to take a shower, and like, any advice that you guys have on how you can do that?
I think so much of it is the night before. So there's going to be unexpected things like that happen with your daughter this morning, where she got sick at school and you had to run a sweatshirt over to her, whatever it was. Right. These are the unexpected things that happen with our mornings. For me, this morning, Glam Squad canceled, and I suck at makeup. And I'm literally, if you'd seen me, I was watching YouTube tutorials, like trying to figure out how to do my makeup. Like, I'm terrible at it. So anyway.
You did a great job.
You look beautiful.
Yeah, you did.
Thanks, guys. So anyway, we'll see. But I think that for me, like, if I hadn't already had the whole morning planned out yesterday, that would have been an even bigger disaster. So sometimes it's just like having those transitions, because the unexpected is going to happen. That's like the one guarantee. So the more you can like pick out your clothes the night before and have everyone know the schedule the night before, and have everyone's sports equipment in the front of the house, whatever it is, that's the stuff that I think makes everything go more smoothly, because my son slept through his alarm this morning, and like those things just happen.
Sure. So being super organized really helps take the stress and allows you to then do what it is that you want to do. For you think it's the organization.
Well, I think managing the unexpected is easier when you're prepared.
Yeah.
I attribute something very different to my success at organization, and that is hormones. I would say, HRT has been my friend, because if I don't have it,
So
like
what
if
is
I,
that?
that's estrogen, testosterone, progesterone, perimenopause. It's here, and it hit me with depression, fatigue. I couldn't put one foot in front of the other. And for me, just kind of like getting my hormones straight has just given me new life.
Oh my God, we're going to do a whole episode on this.
Oh, good. Yes, because I'm really into it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, everybody needs a different cocktail. Everybody arrives at perimenopause at a different time in their lives. Some people never need anything. My sister-in-law was never, I usually go to her for, all the questions I have about child rearing or whatever, but when I came to her with this, she was like, yeah, no, I slid right by. For me, it was life-changing.
Well, that's definitely
amazing.
the next episode. We're going to do a thing on menopause.
Suzanne Gilbert-Lenz, we should have her as our guest. She's like a big menopause expert in LA. She happens to be my OBGYN.
Oh,
yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I love mine too, Emily Sicking. So,
Very cool.
Very good.
I agree with structure. I'm a list maker. Actually, I just had an argument with my husband last night. He's like, you are a smart woman. You don't need to write everything down. And I said, I am a smart woman. And I do need to write everything down, because my brain is so full and there's so many different things. I've chosen multiple career paths. We have multiple children. We have the house. And yes, I wish he took over more of the running of our world. But I do it all. And for me, writing lists, keeping it, your general list, your list for the week, your list for the day. It's a lot, and I like to write everything on paper or a little book. But I'm versus on my phone. I don't remember it all. But I'm a list writer. The kids have to lay out their clothes. If they didn't, I know it's going to be a slower morning. I have a set routine that before, I'm not one of those people who wakes up early. My mom was like, you should just wake up an hour early, you can meditate. I was like, that is not going to happen. I mean, I'm a morning person. Like, I wake up and I'm ready and I'm doing chants around the house, much to my husband's dismay. Like, we go, today's going to be a great day. My little one is like just me in a nutshell. So she'll be like, Mom, didn't do the chant for Callaway before she got out. My older's like, oh God, I can't. But I like to keep things organized so that you can keep them fun. I like to walk the dog in the morning. It makes me happy. He's very annoying, but that fresh air alone for a minute, that's sort of my meditation. And the kids are awake and my husband's home. He's sleeping, but he's home. And so I know they're safe and I can take, 10 minutes, 15 minutes to take the dog out and go over in my head all the junk that's spinning around, and then make the lunch boxes and pack them out, and then I'm in it. But I think having everyone know exactly what they need to do on their own, and then we come together and we have breakfast together and we listen to princess songs on the Alexa. I love our kitchen Alexa. Or we have a little morning dance party and we get out. My tween rolls her eyes a lot, but I also thrive on structure, and I think it helps with the kids for sure. Mondays never seem to go as planned and we're always late for school, but by Tuesday we got it.
Oh, I love it. I love it. What a great morning to start the morning talking.
I want to have a morning with you.
Right? Next episode, we're coming to your house. We're gonna be singing and chanting and starting our morning in your breakfast table.
Oh yes, your older kids would be like, oh God, that lady is. This is why I work with children. This is.
So funny. I can't wait to see what teenage years are going to be like.
Oh, yeah.
Although, you know what you could tell your husband next time is my favorite quote is, your head is a messy office. David Allen, who's like an organizational expert, says that. So it should all be out on paper. So
Yes,
he's got this.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, ladies, for making my Monday better.
Thank you.
And, thanks, everybody, for watching. And next episode, we are going to delve into some politics, some hormones, and some other sticky things. So make sure to join us and leave your comments. Let us know what you want to hear about. Email us. We'd love to hear from you, too. See you next time.